Hello, class, and welcome to today's Desmos activity on slope and slope-intercept form. In a moment, the teacher will assign you your class code by clicking on these three dots. So this top one will be for first hour, or they can hit dashboard or student link. Students, you will type in the webpage student.desmos.com, and then you'll be prompted to type in a code. Here it is. Then please use your first and last name when prompted. You do not need to create a login to do today's activity. So you can kind of continue as a guest, use your first and last name. Let's take a look at what this assignment looks like. So from a student perspective, which is what we're in right now, I'm in full screen mode, and how you toggle and go to the next slide in this activity is by clicking this next button in the top right corner. There's also an arrow to go back to a previous slide if you need to. Welcome to linear functions, which is what we're studying, slope and slope-intercept form. The first slide is just a slide of information on topics that you've been studying. You can refer back to this slide if you need to, or write anything you like down from this slide. You're going to be challenged throughout this activity to find the slope from a graph, find the slope from 2 points. So use your slope equation for that, or slope formula. Find the slope from a table. And this activity, you'll be able to type in your answer and hit submit, and it'll tell you if you got it wrong or right. You'll continue throughout this activity and include problems such as story problems, where you have to identify the slope and the y-intercept in the story problem. Remember, in story problems, the y-intercept is usually your starting point, or where something begins, and your slope is the rate at which something is happening. If you're going up, it's positive, and you remember, if you're going down, it's negative. So you have a few story problems in a row there, where all you need to do is identify the slope and the y-intercept. Next, you'll have an example where you can see it, and then you're being asked to draw graphs. Now, to draw in Desmos, you can use the freehand tool over here. So this will allow you to plot anywhere you want. You can clear your graph. You can also use the line tool as well. Remember how to draw graphs. We plot this y-intercept first, and then we use the slope to plot more points. So our slope here is 2/3, so we would rise up 2 and go 3 to the right. And again, you can use your line tool to approximately draw your line through your points. And you can even add arrows at either end like that. And you can check and see how you did, and it will draw it for you. There you go. So our graph was correct. So you'll be doing that for a few problems where you're given an equation, and then you'll be asked to graph that equation. So remember, do the y-intercept first, and then use your slope to plot more points. Let's keep checking out what's in this activity. There's a short video here you can watch as a class instead of watching it individually. And now you're going to go in the other direction. Now you're going to view a graph and be asked to write the equation from that graph. So you want to identify the y-intercept, and you want to count the rise over the run. And remember, you start with the point on the left of the line as you figure out the slope, not the right, the left. And so if you have to go up, that's a positive numerator. If you have to go to the right, that's a positive denominator. And you're always going to go to the right if you start on the left point. So you do that for a few graphs where you'll type in your equation here. So for example, in this equation, the y-intercept is 1, so we know +1 is part of our equation. We'll put our x in there, and then the slope goes in front of x. So we'll start with the point on the left. That's this point, and we'll count the rise, 1, 2, 3, and the run of 1. So we would type in 3/1, or 3 divided by 1. You got it. Good work. Continue to practice that a few times. And then when you get to the end here, or near the end, this is a drag and drop. So you're trying to match the equation with the graph you see on the screen. If you're having a hard time seeing it, you can click on it to make it bigger. The key is here to look at your graph and identify the y-intercept. So the y-intercept is 2 here. Then find another point that crosses exactly at a grid mark, like this point here. Starting with the point on the left, we have to go 2 down, so your slope is -2, and 3 to the right. So your slope is -2/3. So you're looking for this equation right here, -2/3 x plus 2. So we'll clear that and we'll try and find that equation, -2/3 x plus 2. Let's make that smaller. There it is right here. So we're just going to drag, drop it right on there. So that's how this part of the activity works. Click on the graph, find the slope and y-intercept, and drag and drop the equation on there, and then hit next. Now you'll have to finish the entire card sort for you to move forward there. And then a little lesson wrap up. How well did you understand it? A lot, a little, somewhere in between, and how did you feel about it? And you can add a special comment as well, like, I miss you, Mr. Thayer. Can't wait to see you again. Hope this helps guide your start to this activity. Have fun, be respectful, and please place the computers back on the charging cart when you're finished. Have a great lesson. Bye.